Have you ever been puzzled by Scala's type class implicit resolution? It can be quite the brain teaser. If you're facing issues with your Scala code, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into a specific code snippet to unravel the mysteries of implicit resolution. I totally get how frustrating it is when your code doesn't compile, especially when you think you did everything right. You're not alone in this struggle. Many developers encounter similar issues with Scala's implicits. Let's take a closer look at the specific question at hand. One user shared a piece of code that throws an error about not finding an implicit value for a parameter. They asked, why doesn't intricacies get resolved in the first place? And why does it compile after being used once? Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So, what's going on with this code? The issue lies in how Scala resolves implicits. When you first call print with tc without an explicit parameter, Scala can't find int tc. But after it's been used once, Scala remembers it for subsequent calls. Let's break this down further. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share some best practices for placing your type class implicits to avoid these issues in the future. To understand why the implicit value for parameter tc could not be found, we need to look at the scope of the implicit definitions. The user should note that the implicit object int tc is defined inside the wrapper object, which means it is only available within that scope. Next, let's discuss why the code compiles after the first invocation of print with tc. When the user calls print with tc with an integer, the Scala compiler looks for an implicit value of type tcint. After the first call, the compiler can resolve the implicit value because it has been brought into scope. Now, regarding where type class implicits should be placed for proper resolution, the user should define implicits in a companion object or in the same scope where they are used. This ensures that the compiler can find them when needed. Finally, the user should remember that implicit resolution can be affected by the order of definitions. If the implicits are defined after their usage, they will not be found. Therefore, it's best practice to define implicits before they are used in the code. Fun fact: did you know that Scala's implicits are one of the most powerful features of the language? They allow for elegant and concise code, but they can also lead to some head-scratching moments. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach suggested by a user is to use a val with an explicit return type for your type class implicits. This helps avoid issues with implicit resolution. They explain that when you explicitly use intricacies, it forces the compiler to type check it, making its type known for future implicit searches. If you prefer lazy evaluation for your implicits, consider using an implicit lazy val with an explicit type. This maintains the lazy behavior while ensuring proper resolution. Let's move forward and look at another answer. This user suggests defining the implicit type class before its usage in the code. By placing the implicit object intricacies earlier in the wrapper object, it ensures that the implicit resolution works correctly when print with tc is called. Here's a pro tip: always keep your implicits organized and well scoped. This will save you from a lot of confusion and make your code cleaner and easier to maintain. And there you have it. Understanding Scala's type class implicit resolution can be tricky, but with these insights, you should be able to tackle similar issues with confidence. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more Scala tips and tricks.